Yay.
All right. I think it's recording. I hope it's recording.
Yes.
All right, good. All right, so it's funny, on the way over here, Dr. Matt said, you're going to do an introduction about us. And I said, not so much, because it's really not about us. Like, we're here to give. We want, and I'm sitting here hearing so much passion in this room, just from Lauren and from Jamie about what they do and how grateful they are to Berkeley. It's so nice. We feel that way about what we do too. And the more we can get out there and share, the happier we are. And I think that's really all you need to know about us. That's our introduction. This workshop we call 9 Months to a New You. We're really excited about it because, like I was saying before, it's basic, simple concepts that make a huge difference. So we're going to share a lot of things in the next half hour, but our goal is really for you to focus in on maybe just one thing that you can take away that will make a difference. Okay? So that's where we're going with this. And the first question people ask me is, why 9 months? Why did you pick that period of time? What's special about 9 months? Any ideas?
Am I going to cheat every time it regenerates?
That's it.
Yeah.
People normally say, that's childbirth. That's, but it's 9 months for some reason is a magical number, because in our bodies, every cell regenerates, and we all know that, but they do it at different rates. So different organs will regenerate at a different rate. Some take a short period of time, some take a longer period of time. But within a 9-month period, you actually have a completely new body, which I think that in itself is an extremely hopeful statement, right? So we have a lot more control when we know about this. This is like a secret that nobody knows about, that every 9 months we have an opportunity to be a new person.
Wow.
And what's really cool about that is it doesn't stop. So like right now, we're starting the next 9 months. And now right now, we're starting, and then right now,
It just continues.
it just continues. It's a cycle that starts over and over and over again. So the first question I have is, what happens if we're not giving our cells what they need? Right? Our cells are reproducing constantly. They're regenerating, and they need information to do that. So if they're not getting what they need, picture taking a copy of a piece of paper, putting it on a copy machine, and then taking that copy and making another copy, and then taking that copy. What happens over time? Do you get better a quality copy, or you get less quality? And when our cells aren't getting what they need, the copies will actually speed up the aging process. She's like, ooh, that's terrible. Ooh. So,
Whoa.
the converse is true too. What happens when we start giving our cells what they do need? Have you ever seen somebody that you haven't seen in a few years and you look at them and you're like, wow, you look amazing. Like, why is that person aging a little more slowly than the next person? What do they know that we don't? I'm going to tell you today. So now you know.
I want to know.
I want to know. Okay, so what we need to know is what our cells need. That's the first step. What do our cells need? How do we feed our cells, and how do we do it in a more healthy manner? These are what we call our vital needs. Why are they vital? Because if you remove completely any one of these, what happens to us? We die. We can't live without them. They're vital, right? They're in the specific order: nerve flow, oxygen, water, and nutrients. They're in that order for a reason. Can anybody guess what the reason is before I give it away?
Most important?
Most important. How long, thank you, Lauren, how long can you live without food? How long can you survive?
Probably not that long, yeah.
You can actually go, if you have all 3 of the
So
top.
you can actually go less, you can go longer without food than you can go without the 3.
Exactly. Food, we can probably last about 30 to 40 days, believe it or not. You'd be hungry. It wouldn't be happy or comfortable.
I'd be dizzy, no?
Passing out. But you can last that long. But if you remove water, you're going to last only a few weeks. That's it. If you remove oxygen,
We're done.
you're going to last a few minutes. You can last maybe 10 minutes on the outside.
If you know how to control your body to do that, yeah.
Yeah, well, or if you're passed out.
That's
right? But if you remove that nerve flow, the vital communication between the brain and the body, you sever that cord, instantaneous death. So it stands to reason that if you want to improve your health as quickly as possible, you're not going to start with a diet, which is food, the least of the vital needs. You're going to start with nerve flow, which is the highest of the vital needs. That's how you can make the most drastic change the most quickly. Makes sense, right?
Totally.
Okay. So we're going to talk about it in the reverse order. I'm going to start with the food. And the reason that I'm starting with the food is because nerve flow is the most important. That will be the last thing we discuss. I want you to remember that the most. But here's the parts where I want you to start thinking to yourself, I want to take one thing, just one thing that they're talking about, okay? So when we talk about food, and this can be an entire workshop in itself, I know you know that, but to make it really simple and easy and take away all the questioning about food and what I should eat and what I shouldn't eat, my rules are, number one, fresh fiber first. Let's not start by removing things, especially things that we love from our diet. Let's start by adding things. And the things that we want to add are things that are not in a can or a box. You know, they're fresh, whole foods. Like put a salad out before dinner. Don't take away your pasta yet. Add in a nice, big, healthy salad. Eat that first. And then slowly you're going to crowd out the things that your body doesn't require. You're not getting any nutritional content from pasta, which is why the second part of this will be to reduce or eliminate wheats, which are pastas and breads, sugars, which is, I'm not talking about fruits, I'm talking about candy, cookies, hot cake, desserts, stuff like that. And this one kind of throws everybody, dairy products, okay? Cheeses, milks. Once milk is pasteurized, it's really not giving us the nutrients that we need. They've kind of been destroyed in that process.
What if I like my milk in my coffee?
I love milk in my coffee and I use almond milk.
Okay. Oh, okay. So substitute it.
Substitute it, yeah. The almond milks, the rice milks. Those are all good choices. They have so many different kinds. And, you know, I've been saying this for about 20 years, and now you're seeing so many varieties of different options popping up because people are catching on to this stuff. Artificial sweeteners, ixnay. That's pig Latin, sorry. But get rid of them for sure. Artificial sweeteners were developed for chemical warfare. They make you more hungry, make you crave more food. Okay, so there's a lot of little juicy details that you can dig into right here, right now, with just this slide.
No cheese at all. No kind of cheese.
You know what? The reason I put reduce or eliminate, and that's a really good question, because I don't want anybody to try to go from 0 to 100. I want you to get closer to 100. So if you're going to say, hey, maybe I should have a slice of cheese today, or wait, maybe I'm not going to have a slice of cheese today. You can make that decision right in the moment because you know that cheese is causing inflammation. You know that it's not making the cells reproduce in a more healthy manner. It's going to cause them to reproduce in a less healthy manner. So you might, in that split moment, say, you know what? I've been so good. I want to live. I want to enjoy. I'm going to have a slice of cheese. I don't not ever eat cheese. Like my treat for when I've done a really good job is like, I want a slice of pizza. You know, that's all of the bad stuff put into one, but I love pizza and I want to be happy. But that's not my go-to meal, and I'm making sure that, again, I'm filling myself with things like in the morning, I won't leave without a banana. You know, I'll put that into my meal. You know, all like fresh fruits, grapes. I always have that stuff laying around out on the counters for the kids to grab, you know, now the kids are older.
I have a question. So like with dairy, I'm just asking this because like, you know, since I was a kid, my school, they would always like say, hey, grab a glass of milk, drink your milk with cereal, or now as an adult, when I work out, they're saying, look, you can have the protein shakes, but what's really good to regenerate muscle and you know, that tiredness of your body is to grab a good glass of milk. So it's not that I'm
It's
challenging,
confusing,
but
yeah.
I kind of.
Well,
Yeah,
we are highly motivated in the society by the dairy industry, which puts out all those ads. You remember the milk commercials, got milk and
Sure, yeah.
healthy bones, and all the studies are showing that we are the country that consumes the most dairy products in the world. We have the highest rate of osteoporosis. So what they're telling us is inaccurate, and that's why you're seeing all these alternatives popping up in the market now.
Right, because almond milk has like double the amount of calcium.
Yes.
I've heard
Doesn't
that.
have the protein that milk has, but it has double the calcium.
I know, it's just sometimes because it really could throw you off. Because I'll tell you right now, I'll give up a cookie before I give up a piece of cheese.
Okay.
I'll give up like a lot of that stuff that says sugar. I don't even drink milk.
Yeah.
If I drink milk, it's almond milk.
And again, if the one thing you
But, like,
pick is,
And I just find like Europe lives on cheese, and they're
True,
10
true.
times healthier than us. Like everything they eat is cheese. Everything's around cheese, and they're so much healthier.
and they're
Obviously, because they
treating their
don't have
livestock
stuff.
differently too.
Yeah.
So
and
it makes a
again-
difference.
Again, I know there's exactly. That's what I'm thinking. It's more about not necessarily the cheese. It's just what we're getting.
By the
here.
time we consume it, it's
it's not.
anything that benefits us.
Which,
So yeah, and like I was saying, which goes back to your original question. Don't deprive yourself and make yourself miserable. It's not what it's about. It's about knowing what's good for you and reaching for that a little more to offset the urges of the other stuff, getting closer to healthy, giving yourselves what they need. Just pick one thing. Okay? So again, that 9 months from now, you might say, all right, now I want to cut out the cheese. But that 9 months is starting. You have an opportunity every day for that.
I put out so much. It's like I gotta cut out cheese too. It's the only thing I sprinkle on salad. That's my meat.
Right.
You know what you have to try? What's that? A nutritional yeast. Sprinkle that on. It's just, yes, it's a beautiful, really healthy packed powder that you can get at Trader Joe's or anywhere. It's becoming very popular. It replaces that grated cheese kind of taste, and it's healthy for you. Okay? All right, we're moving to the next category. Water. How much water do we need to be drinking each day? This is a vital need. We should know the answer to this.
We've been really good with water, right? We are always on each other with water, and I think I mentioned this to you guys. Like we were trying to do the alkaline water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're all kind of like challenging ourselves.
Yeah.
Like John, should be joining us in a little bit. He's been on it. Nicole's been on it too.
She drinks it. I think she
Probably those drinks with the
I started doing the alkaline water, but the alkaline water was very heavy on percent.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because it has,
That's the line.
what is it, the high.
It has like I think like a baking soda.
It's supposed to be better than like a bottle of spring water.
All right, so let's just talk about water in general.
Just
How much should we each be drinking a day? You said we're doing better, we're drinking a lot, but how much? Like, what's our guide?
minimum like 5 of those a day? Maybe. but we should-
64 ounces?
We got 64 ounces from the voice in the
She
computer.
Googled it. No fair, you Googled it, Lori.
I do about 8 cups, 8 to 10 cups a
Okay,
day.
Trying to do a
What I
gallon.
try to do.
okay. Think of your kids, right? They're like this big.
They get adjusted.
They do. They get adjusted.
They go there.
Do they require the same amount of water as I do?
No, because of the
Do
body,
you
right?
require the same amount of water as I do? Do you require?
No, because
Why?
it's based on your body.
It's based on your body. So how do we know how much water we require?
Right.
You know, we can go by a guide of 8 glasses, but that's not true for everybody. So the formula is half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you should aim for 50 ounces of water. 200 pounds, 100 ounces of water. I think you get it. That's it. It's a simple thing. Half of your body weight. Now, that's a really good indication, because if somebody says to me, that's way more water than I can ever consume, they might need to lose a little weight and get it back to an area that's more manageable.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I will not say to somebody, you have to drink 100 ounces of water a day. I would say that's your goal. Strive each day for maybe one more cup of water than you're drinking to get closer to it if you're not there. So again, you pick one little thing. Your one thing might be, I'm going to add an extra glass of water today, or I'm going to add a glass as soon as I wake up this morning. Whatever it is. You're closer to healthy. You're closer to giving your cells one of the vital needs that are going to make them healthier. Okay?
Can I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
They say when you lose weight fast, you get rid of a lot of water weight first. Is that
Correct.
correct? So
Yes.
does drinking water affect the water weight you carry?
It'll help you flush it out a little quicker.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right. Next is oxygen. I do have some of these handouts that I wanted to just give you guys so that, give me one, so that I could talk to you and give you some practical ideas. When we talk about oxygen, there's two ways to get oxygen to our cells. One is breathing and two is exercise. Now, everybody knows that we should be exercising. What the American Heart Association recommends is a minimum of 3 times a week, 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise, going for a brisk walk 3 times a week. Most Americans don't even come close. Again, get closer to that. If you add in one walk a week for 10 minutes, you're better off, your cells are healthier. Breathing is really interesting because as a society, we're so stressed that we don't even breathe the way we're shallow breathing society because we're stressed all the time.
It's so interesting because whenever people are like, breathe, 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 it's like, wow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's very true. So I put on this sheet under abdominal breathing in the first portion of it. Lauren, do you have access to that? Or no? The sheet that we're talking about, does she have that?
No, that's okay. They'll get it to me.
I'll send the picture to her right now.
Okay, perfect. So inhale deeply when you're inhaling until your belly actually rounds out. That's how you know you have a full breath and that it's gone all the way down. And I'll tell you the best time to do that
Yeah.
is when you're stuck in traffic and you're freaking out and you have nothing better to
It
do.
relaxes you.
Focus on your deep breathing. It's a perfect time, right? So you take a nice deep breath, you make good use of a stressful time, and as you let it all the way out, you wait till your belly flattens, and that's how you know it's out. Again, simple, easy. You're oxygenating your cells. You're giving them the chance to reproduce in a more healthy manner by taking one little simple, easy
So
step.
let me ask you a question, doctor. So I'm helping my parents. So I'm taking them out like every weekend to go to a park and walk, right? Obviously, they're not, I would say, they're not like as fit as they were when they were younger, but like I noticed that sometimes they get, like tired early or whatever. What advices do you recommend? Mind you, I don't force my parents to sprint like I sprint or things like that, right? But I want to, catch up with them.
I recommend that
So-
you keep encouraging them to get out there and do
Yeah.
whatever they can do. And if
Got it.
they're doing that on a consistent basis,
Okay.
you'll see them getting a little healthier. You'll
Yeah.
see those cells getting a little more oxygenated.
Yeah, but like for instance, like I know like the eating part, and like I'm gonna share this with my family because I really watch their health. But my question is like if I'm, let's say, taking them out, right? I don't want to make them like for instance when you jog you're huffing and puffing,
Hmm.
right? Like for instance when I was in wrestling, I learned that the best way to get the best breathing is when you're doing an exercise, breathe in from your nose and you exhale from your mouth.
Hmm.
You save energy, you get bigger gulps of air, and your heart is actually pumping to the, to the
To its
pace
maximum, yeah.
exactly, right? So, well, my thing is like, I don't want to get them tired, like, early, right? So is there any type of like workout maybe that you would recommend?
And I think Dr. Matt will agree. I'm thinking just getting them out there and walking
Yeah?
just
Okay.
as much as they can, and it's okay for them to be tired. That means that they're getting pushed to their maximum and they can expand from there.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
Yeah. Movement in the body, just getting the body moving is important. So whatever they like to do, I would say, we'll encourage them to do more if it's dancing, if it's just
Alright, I
walking,
could dance some
whatever they
salsa.
like to do.
Alright,
And
cool,
also
cool.
I'm a big proponent of chair exercises too. So if they're not able to be mobile, depending on their age, to get up and do stretches standing up, there's also many different exercises that you can do just sitting down in a
Yeah, we
chair.
actually put a couple of them on here, which is great to share with your parents too.
Yeah.
One is
For us, because we're
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're all sitting
that's
there.
why we added them.
Yeah, that was it. That was the thought process. But the first one is just placing your hands under the desk and just pushing up. And that just kind of opens up the shoulders, brings them back a
Just
little
push
bit.
your hands up.
That's it. Yeah, you can go a little further under. Place your whole palm under.
Back to the seat, the chair, or, yeah?
Ideally, yep.
Yep. And just push up. And you see how your shoulders come down when you push your hands up and they open up, they go back? That's what you want. So you bring your shoulders down and back as you push up. Okay? Keep in mind, everything that we do during the day is in front of us. It's here, which is, and especially with the addition of cell phones now, that's why we're getting that horrible posture. So we have to do postural exercises during the day. That's an easy one. Shoulder shrugs, which you can combine with breathing. You can take a deep breath. Inhale all the way till your belly expands as you lift your shoulders up. Hold it for a few seconds, release, and breathe out. And you can do that right at your desk. Every 20
So would
minutes.
you do like several of those, or just
Yeah,
at one time?
couple times.
I
Every
mean, at one time?
yeah, couple nice deep breaths,
Okay,
couple
and
show.
do it
You
several
could do up
times a
to
day.
10. Yeah, but every like 30 minutes you should pause and do just one of these
Okay,
things.
gotcha.
Okay? Clasping hands behind the head and pulling the elbows back. Anything that's going to get us back and arched is going to open this up, which is
Yeah,
crowded.
I do remember, like, if you run a lot, like, if you're, like, in an exercise, and, like, you're huffing to actually put your arms like this, because it opens up your muscles and it doesn't tighten them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See, that wrestling came in handy.
And the last one, which is great for anybody who has a sitting job, while you're sitting at your desk, definitely pull yourself away from the table so you don't bang your head, but grab behind your thighs and just bring your whole upper body down to stretch out the whole spine. As far down as you can, hold it for 10 seconds, take some deep breaths, and come back up. You have no idea how stimulating that is, not only to the cells, but also to the brain. Okay, you will be a more productive worker and get a lot more done if you take the
It's amazing.
few seconds to do that.
Never thought of that one.
The rest of it goes into, and again, you guys have this to keep, but it goes into sitting posture where we should always follow the rule of 90s, meaning elbows should be at 90 degrees, hips should be at 90 degrees, and knees should be at 90 degrees. If these are all right angles, we know we're doing it right. Okay? Our monitors should be placed about an inch above the top of the monitor, inch above eye level, so that we're slightly looking up instead of down. We do not want to encourage this. We want to encourage this. Okay? And if you have all your files on one side or a lot of things on your desk on one side, every few weeks or every couple months even, change the sides that you put things on so you're not constantly going to the same side.
So you can, like, move the body, something like that?
Well, if say you have files in a drawer right here,
Yeah.
try, and you're constantly like this. My spine is now going in this position all the time.
So you're not always that way, you can give it like that.
That's a postural trauma that you're giving yourself by always going to the same side. If you have the phone on this side of the desk, move it to this side of the desk. You know, use a headset if you can, so that you're not like this
So
all
then
the time.
We're all on
being
headsets.
consistent.
Yay!
That's true.
We're all on fire with
Yeah, I
headsets
couldn't
right
deal with that, like,
Yeah.
I felt that that was like,
Yeah.
my neck's gonna like just go apart.
MDL.
All right, you guys ready for the big one?
Right.
All right, nerve flow, top of the chart. Again, if you want to make the most profound change to your health, this is the one you're going to address. And for this one, I'm going to hand the floor over to my esteemed colleague, Dr. Matthew.
Yes. I know we're running out of time. You have to be at work. You have to be working again.
Go
right,
ahead,
too?
we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
You're good?
No worries.
Okay, great. So the most important vital need is nerve flow. And the reason that is because that's, if we cut off our nerve supply, that would be the quickest thing that would cause us to perish, basically. The nervous system controls every cell in our body. So if we want to go back to that 9 months where our cell is continually replicating again and we're a whole new person, the best way that we can do that is to have optimum flow through our nervous system, optimum nerve flow. So we communicate, the brain communicates down to the body and the body communicates back up to the brain. We call this the safety pin cycle. So if you can imagine a safety pin where it's closed, we have the best benefit of creating that optimal neurological flow where the brain is communicating with the body. It's a closed chain. Now, sometimes that chain can open up, kind of like the safety pin, where we don't have that continuous nerve flow. And I'll talk about how we as chiropractors address those things. We would call that, where there's that interruption between the safety pin, chiropractors call it a subluxation. Have you ever heard that word before? No?
Yes.
Yeah, you've heard it?
Oh, I certainly have many times.
Okay, great.
Is
So
that great?
that's great that you've heard of it.
Oh, okay.
Because chances are that everybody, pretty much the majority of everybody, has been in a state where we're subluxated. So subluxations, what those are is a subluxation is basically, on a simplistic simplistic form, is a misalignment in the spine. So we have our spinal column and our nervous system. The brain goes into the spinal cord, that goes out into peripheral nerves. Our spinal cord, our spine is what encases the spinal cord. So if we have a misalignment in the spine, that can put pressure on nerves, and that can affect the way that the nerve is flowing to different parts of our body. So depending on where that nerve is coming from, or arising from, where that subluxation is, that can affect the communication to a specific organ, to a specific muscle, and so those subluxations can have a profound effect on our body. They can cause pain, it can cause interruption in the way the brain is communicating with our heart or our lungs, so that's why, you know, when we're talking about nutrients or when we're talking about water, breathing, the thing that allows us to digest the nutrients, the thing that allows us to breathe air, that's all controlled by our nervous system. And so that's why the nervous system is the most important system in the body. Subluxations also, they can affect discs. You know, over time, if we have poor alignment, that can start to wear out those joints, and that can cause arthritis in the joints, where our spine is not moving as well as it could, and it can cause decay in the joints. So we want to keep people functioning optimally. So we want your parents to be able to exercise and move as best as they can, and that's why we educate people from a young age to take care of their spine, kind of like you take care of your teeth. We can replace our teeth, but we can't replace our spine. And so we want people to be able to move and function as best as they can.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. So some of the dangers of subluxation I sort of alluded to. Even a minor subluxation can cut off about 60% of your nerve supply. So those cells that want to regenerate and you know, the diet that you're on or the goals that you have of being a healthier person, you can't get to those goals as well if we don't have that correct alignment and optimal nervous system regulation. So even just a minor subluxation can cut off 60% of the nerve supply. And one of the dangers with that is that we don't always feel a subluxation. So a lot of times people come into our office initially because they're in pain. They have a neck pain or a back pain. They turned a certain way or they slept funny. And one of the dangers in that is that we don't get checked until we experience pain. And so knowing that
We wait till we're down and out.
Yeah, exactly. So that's usually the time when we see people and we educate them on the importance of the nervous system and how it regulates every part of our body. There's no way that we're going to be our 100% optimal capacity at our optimal health if we don't have proper functioning nervous system. And similar to cancer and heart attacks, you know, we don't always know that we have cancer until the late stages potentially, or we may not know that we have cardiovascular disease until we have a heart attack. And so that's why being assessed for subluxations is a really important aspect to health. Some of the causes of subluxations, I'm sure that we want to try to avoid them as much as we can because our nervous system is that important. Subluxations are a result of stress on our body. So anytime somebody talks about stress, the first thing we probably think of is, you know, our kids or our parents or our significant other stressing us out. Emotional stress can have an effect on our nervous system. So you can probably imagine a lot of times when you're stressed out, you probably have your shoulders up to your ears. That can also affect us physically. So emotional stress does have an effect on our nervous system. Physical stresses as well. So having to sit for long periods of time in front of a computer. Sitting, I say sitting is the new smoking. It puts the most amount of stress on your lower back.
It's true though. That's why a lot of people do the standing
up.
desk.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's one of the things we put on
for
this guide,
posturing
to
conditions.
stand as often as possible.
Now the issue is that we can't control all the stress that's going to come at us, but we can just adapt to it as best as we can. So doing some of these exercises throughout the day, working on your ergonomics in your office with the 90-degree angles can help to eliminate stress as much as possible. There's no way that we're going to avoid every stress, and not every stress is bad stress, but just dealing with the stresses in the best way we can is important to our overall health. And keeping those cells healthy and regenerating them to its best capacity. And I won't go through this totally, but Here's an example of a nervous system chart, just to show you how the nervous system controls everything in our body. So when we could have subluxations in different part of the spine. Subluxations are misalignments. So we educate our patients to know which parts of the body that those nerves actually go to. So in the neck area, these nerves supply eyes, ears, muscles in the neck, and the nerves in the neck also travel all the way down into the arms and into the hands. So a lot of times when people in our office initially come in with headaches, neck pains, it can be due to misalignments in the neck that are putting pressure on nerves and causing those imbalances.
Sinus problems, eye
Exactly.
issues,
Allergies.
ear problems.
Hey
So-
guys, good
Hi,
to see you
Dylan.
again. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you
Nice
again.
How are you? Good to see you. Sorry, I got stuck on my phone.
It's okay.
You walked into the restaurant.
Oh, did I?
We were talking about
Sinus and headaches.
sinus and headaches.
This is me today, actually. Yeah, like
Oh,
pressure
no,
drop
I
and everything. I'm just, yeah, the weather the
Yeah.
last couple of days it's been rough.
You gonna join us?
I have to go sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so I emailed you all the details and
All
everything.
right.
So sorry,
Thanks for
guys.
staying
Good to see you
Thanks.
again, though.
Yeah,
Good to
yeah.
see you.
Dylan, have a good one. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. So also in the middle part of our body, these nerves communicate with our heart or lungs. Lower down in our lumbar spine, it communicates with digestive organs, and these nerves travel all the way down into the legs and into the feet. So we have patients who come to our office, and if they start having care in our office, sometimes they say, I didn't even realize that I was experiencing headaches so much until I didn't experience them anymore. Or, this year I'm noticing I'm having a lot less allergies. I'm not experiencing so much sinus
Everybody in my
congestion.
family got sick and I didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Yeah.
hear a lot of
I
that.
hear a lot of teachers like that. Like all the other teachers in the school are getting colds, and I didn't get a cold.
Oh, wow.
So it's not avoiding every stress, but kind of building our body up to a position where we can deal with stress better. Chiropractic helps your body do that.
So, the point is, if you don't mind my jumping
let's
back
go.
in,
Yeah.
let's start giving ourselves what they need. Let's make some choices and realize that every choice that we make, do we want to sit down and watch TV today, or do we want to go out for that walk in the park? Every choice will affect what's happening in that 9-month cycle. So again, we gave you so many little tidbits, so many little things to just sink your teeth into. Please, I beg you, don't overwhelm, pick one, because this 9-month cycle doesn't stop. And again, all you need to know is what your body requires, and over time you can start implementing more and more and more. So pick one thing, walk away, but in my opinion, the most valuable takeaway would be to have your spine checked. Find out how your nerve flow is. Do you even have an issue with that, or is it functioning at its optimal? That would be the first question I would ask myself. Most profound effect on my health? I want to know, and I want to know where I'm at. And because, like I said before, you thanked us for coming in. I'm like, no, we're grateful to be here because we're passionate about what we do. So what we want to do is say, okay, you guys are here, whoever's listening, besides you, Lauren, because it's a really far drive for you. But,
Maybe when I come visit.
but we'd love to invite you into our office to have your spine checked at our expense, which means that we're going to check your posture. We're going to look and determine whether or not you need x-rays. We'll see how far we need to take it. It typically costs $195, but as our way of saying thank you, we want to give you that appointment for free. There's no obligation to continue care. This is not a bait and switch. This is, we believe everybody deserves to know how their body's functioning, so they know what steps they need to or don't need to take, and what's the most important thing they need to focus on. For those of you who are interested, you can give us your name, your number, your contact information, and we'll have somebody reach out to you. It's that easy. They'll set up an appointment. It'll take less than an hour, and you have the answers you're looking for. So, that's what we're putting out there. Anybody who's not here right now who's interested in that and is close enough to take advantage of, I have my contact information. This is Dr. Matt and I. As you can see, we're excited about our place. We love welcoming people in. So by all means, email us, check out our website, give us a call. And if you mention Berkeley College, our team knows that you're going to be taken care of and to get that appointment.